Welcome to Positive Outcomes, where leaders turn hard-won experience into income, impact, and freedom.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Positive Outcomes Podcast. Again, we are going to have an amazing time, an amazing conversation, and I'm so happy that you all are here with us today. Again, what is positive outcome? If you are one of my viewers, you should know by now. You should be able to finish that sentence, right? Can you? All right, this is where professionals, they come here and they use their expertise. They talk to us so we are able to learn from them and we are able to go out there and generate income, impact, and freedom. Okay? Income, impact, and freedom. So this is positive outcome. So you are all welcome. And of course, I'm your host, Dr. Dorine. It's nothing about me. Let's talk about Nima, our guest for today. Today's guest is Nima Rajabali, Director of Breeze at Parking Concept Inc., where he leads the growth and strategy of their parking technology platform. His work centers around building smarter, more seamless parking experiences, driving innovation through automation, integration, and scalable solutions. Over the past several years, he has overseen deployments across diverse markets, aligned technical execution with business strategy to create measurable impact. At his core, Nima is passionate about leading teams, shaping strategy, and advancing technology that transforms how people move through cities. That is super, super amazing. Nima, you are welcome to Positive Outcomes.
Thank you, Dorine. Thank you for the kind words. I don't think if I could have explained my job any better. That was very well. Thank you.
You have a very interesting and impressive, I must say, interesting and impressive resume, packing technology. What is that? What does that mean? Break it down.
Well, what we usually like to say is when people ask me what you doing for a living, really anyone in my company or in the industry, they're like, "Oh, we just park cars." And I think the higher up you are, I think the more humble you get. But that's essentially what we do. What I'm doing with parking technology is essentially bringing, well, simply technology into it. So AI. And again, it's not just a parker's experience that we're affecting. Some people are not very familiar with the parking industry. I mean, I wasn't when I joined the company. I'm just going to really quickly explain what it is we do. So we're operators. And let's say you have this building that you're managing, you're a property manager, and you need someone to run the parking operations, maybe generate some revenue and whatnot. That's when we come in. As operators, we recommend perhaps equipment that you can put in your garage or your surface lot to collect revenue. We manage the day-to-day operations, everything from engineering to maintenance, we handle it. Obviously, again, the scale that I work on, it doesn't just affect the parkers. It also affects the industry. So I can delve a little bit more into it, but just
So that
looking
is
at it,
really
yeah.
interesting to start, and I have some questions for you
Please.
because I'm sure the viewers are so excited because this is different. Like you said it, when you say parking, I'm like, driving my car and parking. Why do I need strategy and solutions and AI and all that? This is doesn't make any sense. It's like you're speaking a different kind of language for me. Before we'll go deeper in a minute, right? Can you tell me what first drew you into parking and the project leadership space?
It was quite the journey. I actually studied bioengineering in UC Riverside, so completely different field. And obviously, I started off as this engineer, but I wasn't really finding anything that really suited my goals or my aspirations. And I sort of got into project management for other companies where I would go in, local businesses, really. I would just knock on doors. That's that simple. And I was like, hey, I know a little bit about technology. Maybe you can modernize your operations. If you have some website, need some tweaking. And a lot of it was just self-taught. I did engineering, so obviously you pick up some C plus or some computer language, but most of it was self-taught. So I learned to create some websites. I learned to work on the front end of maybe some apps, user interface, very simple stuff. And again, I somewhat had my own business, very, very small scale. And I found this opportunity. They reached out to me from this company, and I came in as a project manager. And I didn't know much about parking, but in my first sets of interviews, I found myself having this deep affection for this company. I mean, the environment and the industry. I look into it a little bit, and it's sort of an untapped market if you really think about it. That's what
It
really drew me in. That's what really drew me in. And I started as a project manager, and um, parking concepts to leadership in this company. I mean, they trusted me to a degree I've never been trusted before.
You said it, and I think you used the word trust and
That's right.
talked about the excitement and loving the company.
In my company, there's no micromanagement, at least in my department. Person that I report to, senior vice president of our company, he really doesn't micromanage. Great leader, great. I mean, he's an amazing resource for me. And the way it affected me was just I had this integrity in myself. It just sort of got created in me that I had a sense of ownership over the projects myself because of the trust. So there was no one pushing me. It was just, it created that that internal drive for me. And I think
Mm.
that's a very, I've been in many companies. I've rarely seen this kind of management style. And I think it's very, very effective as opposed to just this hard push. Hey, I need you to get this done right away. I need you to do it this way. I need you to, when you're presenting, use this color themes. No, none of that. They just let me run with it as long as I align with the company.
So for the leaders that are out here listening to us, again, this show, we take nuggets on how to go and make ourselves better. Maybe you need to re-strategize your approach. Maybe you need to change the way you do things. Maybe you delegate, but you micromanage. You delegate, but you don't leave it alone and you keep following. Did you do that? Did I ask you to do that? Nima just said that the trust was like an internal fuel. That just got to me. And that made him going. So that's our first nugget as we go forward, okay? Pause and maybe build that trust. And maybe you don't have the trust, so try to build it. I love it. You've had 5 to 10 years of corporate experience so far. What has surprised you most about leadership and growth in that environment?
I think the most surprising part was personally, I always saw our leaders, I mean, my leaders, as, these people that are just not approachable and they always have so much on their plate. Personally, again, in many companies that have been not just this is an exclusive parking concept, they're a lot more open to you reaching out to them. It's very surprising how welcomed that is. And that's, I think, been the most surprising. And I try to be that. I try to be approachable, and I encourage people, anyone that reports to me or other people in the company that need me as a resource. It's always encourage, reach out to me. You don't know how to do something, I'm not going to just tell you how to do it, but I think I'll put you on the right path. And I think that's the most surprising one.
I like that. So for someone that has a fear, like you said, initially you thought they're right there and I'm right down here. And how can I go up there? And oh, they're this God and I cannot go close to them. So for someone that is listening to you right now and really want to say something to their leaders and they don't know how to and they don't know what to do, what would you recommend?
It's very simple, and I don't know how effective it would be for other people. I'm quite a shy person by nature, and people tell me
You
that
don't
I
look
don't
shy,
come
by
off
the
as
way.
that.
Are you sure? You
Doesn't
don't?
Yeah,
Are
that's
you?
practice. A lot of practice. I'm an introvert, and we go to a lot of conferences, and I'm usually always networking. I'm never like sitting in a corner just enjoying my time. No, I'm always networking, and people are like, "No, there's no way you're an introvert." Practice, literally practice. If you need to sit in front of a mirror between a meeting that you have, you need to write it down, just recite it. Think of yourself as an actor, and you have to memorize your line and then improvise when you have to. It just goes away. It's not going to happen overnight, but once it becomes sort of a practice for you, like a daily practice, I think it will go away. You'll start seeing a big difference.
I like that. Practice, practice. And he said something, go and practice in front of the mirror. A little story about me. I'm the doctor from Cameroon. You can hear from my accent. I became a doctor. I was 27 years old and I was at Johns Hopkins University. And people used to tell me, speak English. I cannot understand you, but I'll practice. I used to write things down. I used to prepare my patients the day before, put in time and effort. And also the intelligence, let your performance speak for you so that when you go, actually, they'll listen to you. Because Nima, what I realized is that leaders, we want people to come with something not to come and complain or come and say, I don't know how to do this and just leave, right? I like solution-based thinking where they will say, this is the problem and this is a possible solution. What do you think about that?
That's excellent. That's exactly, yeah, I'll give you an example, and it kind of also ties in with the trust factor that we talked about, and making sure that your team has certain ownership. You're delegating. There's a project manager that reports to me. His name is Brett Walsh. Excellent project manager. He's very hands-on as well. If there's a problem, he tackles it. But one of the things that I wasn't seeing was, well, first of all, he would always reach out to me 8 a.m. every single day, either a call or a text message. What am I doing today? And I was like, that's excellent that you check in with me. I like the fact that I'm that approachable, but I need you to be self-starter. I need you to, I don't expect you to resolve everything. I expect you to tackle on the problems, come up with possible solutions. So
Hmm.
exactly that, exactly that. I couldn't agree
Yeah,
more. Yes.
yeah, exactly. So go back to our parking technology, the most interesting show we've had so far. How did your role at Parking Concept evolve into directing Breeze, the tech platform? I'm just trying to pin all of that together.
Of course. Well, it was all under guidance of, again, my mentor, Mr. Abania, but there was no Breeze when I first joined the company. So we had to create it from scratch. And what Breeze is, again, com- parking industry as a whole is, personally, I think, is not up to par when it comes to technology. It's not utilized enough. Whether on the back end, when I first joined a company, there were a lot of other companies. This is what they were doing. If you had an expense report, you had to like write it on a piece of paper, attach the receipt, like something simple as that was still done old fashioned, right? So we started mainstreaming everything, bringing technology into it. Online reports. If you have to use a vendor to process our payments, then we'll just do that. If you have to develop our own UI or a dashboard, then we'll just do that, which is what we started doing, right? We started looking at some solutions. We're like, all right, how do we incorporate that into our own operations? What it is Breeze today, and I like to be very simple with it. I don't like to use any big words. If you ever park somewhere, you scan a QR code and put in your payment options, maybe you choose how long you want to stay. That would be a Breeze solution. It's very similar to what we have. So it's not just exclusive to that. It started as that. One of our biggest projects was City of Riverside. So we're operating City of Riverside using Breeze. That's a big component. And then it just started expanding from there. And then we started tapping into hardware. You know how you go to a parking garage and then you press a button, you grab a ticket,
Right.
right? What we started doing is, hey, this could be a ticketless operation. We could maybe bring AI into it. So, which is what we've done. So right now we have artificial intelligence. You drive into a garage, there's no gate, you just drive right in. You don't grab a ticket, nothing. So frictionless completely. We have a camera. This camera doesn't only capture your license plate, it actually recognizes your car, the model of your car, the color of it, all this fun information, right? Go about your business, come back to the exit. There's a small device, maybe no bigger than a notebook, and it shows you how much you owe, right? Based on the duration you sit in the garage, and based on the information we capture. Tap your card, Apple Pay, insert, and then that's it. That's your session. Now, if you sign up, just drive right in and out. You don't even have to stop at the exit. So our goal was to make this parking operation a lot more affordable. With this technology, it's extremely more affordable, at least on the capital side. We start focusing on the customer's journey and then some of the pain points that property managers have. People break gates all the time. That is a big expense. So we started looking at where we can cut cost and also make the journey a lot more comfortable and frictionless for the end user, right?
Right.
So that's where it all started. We started just on the drawing board, came up with ideas, what we want to have. And then we went out there and looked at some of the technologies that are already out there, and then we started developing and making it what it is today.
So I'm going to ask a question that is a lot of people are asking and talking about it right now. Is about employee and team members, right? Was there a high turnover by putting all this technology in place? Did that affect your staffing module, right? Did you have to reduce staff for that?
So the big thing is, again, when we provide a budget to a property manager, they have a budget, right? So sometimes we don't really dictate. It's not really in our hands to dictate when we're staffing it or how much we're staffing it. The budget is already given to us. So a lot of times We have, for example, an area manager who's supposed to really oversee 5 different garages. One of these garages could be unmanned, even without the breeze in it, right? So anything goes wrong, anything goes down, someone needs to drive like 45 minutes to even find out what's happening. With this technology, you don't have to be on site to oversee the site. You don't have to be on site to troubleshoot. You can just rent the gate open remotely. So really what we like to think about when it comes to technology is it's just a tool to make your job a lot easier.
Can you say that loud? Because I'm talking to people and this big thing about once you bring technology and AI and this and that, it is taking their jobs from them.
Mm.
And from this perspective, can you explain that some more, please?
Of course, I think it's the company would be very ignorant to let go of employees and replace it with AI. I think AI in any capacity is supposed to make jobs easier. It's supposed to create more room for you to think maybe independently and bring in maybe more initiatives to your position and be more creative and offer unique solutions. So you have just more time to think. It's that simple. And, I don't want to speak for any other industry, but I know in my industry, what we're trying to do, it just enables our staff and our team to be more capable and adaptable. It's that simple.
Amazing. I think that the blend of your leadership and technology sets a really good foundation for a good career path. I think that those two skills are really needed.
Thank you.
While I have my neighbor doing the lawn, so the
I
noise in
can
the
hear it.
background, and I'm like, why are you doing the lawn at 4:25 p.m. when I'm doing my podcast? So I apologize. Okay, the viewers, that's why, okay? I know somebody's going to say something in the comment about that. Yes, it's my neighbor. He's doing his lawn and it's right
Hey,
next.
that's the downside of, having this Zoom interview. That's
And
there's a
I'm sure
lot of
everybody's
upsides.
laughing. When you're working remotely and you have this really good meeting, that's when something decides to happen or somebody knocks on
Of
the door.
course.
So we're going to go and talk about leadership and technology for a moment here,
Of
right?
course.
What's been the most rewarding part of leading a platform that directly impact how people experience city movements?
I think the most rewarding and impactful personally, I can talk about professionally and personally. Personally, it's the solution that we're offering, and it was experimental. Obviously, when we first started it, right? It's not anymore. It hasn't been for years, but it was experimental. And the fact that it worked, trust me, there were obstacles along the way. There were angles we didn't really consider. But when it all came together, that's all I needed. That's all I needed. And I felt happy and that it worked. Professionally, obviously, the parking industry has been very kind to me. I was awarded 40 under 40. It's an award that goes to 40 people who are under 40 years old.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
impressive. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. That was very rewarding. But ultimately, I'm going to go back to staff and our team and our leadership. I think having a tech stack personally for our company is just added value and it makes us even more relevant in this day and age. Being able to offer that, being able to be a part of that, that has been professionally very rewarding for me. That's a great question, actually. That is something I've had to tackle on, and I think in the beginning it was very challenging for me because I wouldn't even see the problem from an engineer's mindset or any
Yes.
technical people. I think you're just thinking analytical, right? We have a problem. What's the solution? That's it. I don't want to hear anything else, right?
Yep.
And that just comes by nature. And I think I kind of pointed it out in the beginning. I'm a shy person by nature, so it is something that didn't come to me easily. And I think ultimately the biggest lesson I learned is that you can't always be one dimensional. You can't always just think about the problem and say, okay, what's the solution? A lot of times, well, I would say all the times, it's your team that empowers you to resolve a problem or maybe even see it coming before you even, sink your ship and hit it, So all goes back to networking and just, again, having those resources for your team and encouraging them to take advantage of these resources. If there's anything I can offer, I always like to put myself out there. But yeah, it's a very unique challenge. And I think that's a hill that a lot of people will die on. And there have been times where I'm talking to clients, for example, and I just can't catch myself. I'm talking way too technical. this isn't, and for lack of better words, I think you just come off as a little bit obnoxious. And I think just having that in mind, being cognizant of it, puts you on the right path. When I'm talking, I'm just like, I think about an industry I don't understand anything about. How would I want someone to talk to me that way? Right. And I just put myself in their shoes. Just keep it simple. If they need more, this is what I always say. Hey, this is a problem. This is a solution. You're handling it, or if I'm offering a new service to them. And then I say, hey, this is super high level. This is just an overview. If you need me to delve into anything, talk about it a little bit more technical, more than happy to. So I always try to attach it at the end of my sentence so that I'm not just, because there's that other side too. You can come off as dismissive.
Right.
If you're just talking about, you mention anything technical, can be a
Like
little
I like
dismissive.
I like the way you answer. And this show, if you can see the way he answers questions, because I talk to people that want to do interviews and they're not getting the job. Did you realize that he stated the issue and he stated the solution right off the back? Okay. As we are learning at positive outcomes, we are learning to empower ourselves and also to be leaders out there, even to our leaders and even to our team members. Always have to have that solution-based thinking, because for some people that would have been my next question. How did you overcome that, or what advice can you give people? He nailed that in one question. He answered it, he talked about the challenges, and then he talked about the solution. So this is just to encourage some of us. Please go and review his response and use that in your next interview. I absolutely love that. You had to pivot quickly due to technical changes. Maybe
Certainly.
with the client demands, you just had to pivot. Can you give us like an example of what happened?
Certainly. I can give you a somewhat recent example. I'm not going to get into the technical side too much, but essentially what happened was we needed this group of users to download our app. And our services don't require you to download an app, but these were monthly parkers. It was a very unique solution we were offering. So we asked them to, hey, we need you to download the app. We'll send you an email afterwards. You click on the link on that email, and then you're registered as a monthly parker. And then you can enter the garage, right? Uh, uh, I always like to go in any meeting that I go in, whether it's with the tenants, whether it's with the property manager, anyone. I bring in a bunch of materials, again, resources that they can look at. So I had a printout of a demo email that goes out. I'm like, hey, this is what it looks like. Just handed it to everyone, right? And I like to be very thorough. That meeting was probably like an hour and a half. I was very thorough. I explained everything thoroughly. My team was there. We all talked about it. Very simple solution. What ended up happening is that they distributed the demo QR code and the demo link to all of their parkers. And instead of waiting for them to receive their unique email, they all clicked on it. For some reason, I mean, we figured out what the reason was, but our servers crashed. So you couldn't even log into the app anymore for that site. And everything was down. So thankfully, one of the greatest lessons that my leaders have taught me is always have a contingency plan. What's going to happen? Let's say this doesn't work for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So thankfully, we have resources. We have boots on the ground. We had parking ambassadors that were able to help all these parkers that were just waiting in the lot, literally as a backup. I mean, if things went smoothly, we need them, and we were just borrowing them from other locations. So I talked to some district managers and said, hey, then we need like 8 to 10 parking ambassadors. This is a large site. So thankfully, we had a solution right away. Was it a perfect solution? Absolutely not. Were people stuck at the gates? No. Contingency, as many contingencies you can, depending on the scale of the projects, obviously.
Yes. Yes. I love that. And that's the reason why I really was leaning towards asking this question, right? You always have to have a contingency plan, which is a backup plan in case something happened. I'm not the best technical person, but I know IT people say I have to do a backup every night at a particular time of your files or whatever they do. I guess that's what
That's
they're
right.
doing, right? Just to back up our folders. So if you're
That's right.
listening to us right now, always have a backup plan. I know there are a lot of people here that are just starting their companies. They're starting, a business, or they're starting something in case something happens. And that's why I'm asking all these questions so we can learn from Nima what he has done. Today, go and write down, if something happens, what will I do? Love the ability that the way you adapt, and it ties so much into your career growth, which I saw that. You have shared that you wanted to continue moving up the ladder, right?
Correct.
you want to continue growing. And what does your next level look like? Like you seem like you've already accomplished so much. What is the next phase? What does it look like? What are you looking forward to?
Well, at the moment, we have an initiative on scaling Breeze to, other nations, really. So we're looking at maybe other continents. That'll be the big step for us. And we're a long way from that. Right now, we are nationwide, but I would like to strengthen our footprints nationwide at least first, and go beyond that. Again, we have quite a lot to accomplish. And I think just scaling this product as a flagship product is just going to be my sole focus for the next few years.
That's totally amazing. And how, with everything going on, what else do you do to keep yourself motivated? How do you position yourself to go forward? How do you grow yourself? We talk about career growth and advancement. Some people think that you just come to work and do well, and that's it. Like, how do you keep yourself motivated to position yourself for that, to scale for that next level?
There's a lot of motivations out there. Obviously, there are personal goals that I'm after, and professional goals that I'm after. Being grateful, looking back, that can always be a motivation. And looking where I was, looking where I am today. Great motivation. What I can achieve can be great motivation. But to be completely honest, there are times that I'm not motivated. And I don't think if motivation should play any role into your success. I think just owe it to yourself. And that's it, period.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wait. You have said something that I think people need to hear, because when you go on social media, people talk about and I personally think that say what you just said about that again, and just explain it a little bit further so people will understand that you don't have to wake up feeling motivated to do your job, right?
absolutely. 100%. And trust me, it's nice. There are times that again, a lot of times I feel motivated. Rarely find myself not feeling motivated, to be completely honest with you. But the times that I don't, I feel really not motivated. And if I wanted to solely rely on that, if I was trying to focus on making myself motivated, as opposed to just getting things done, nothing would get done. Sometimes you don't feel motivated. Sometimes you do your best. There have been projects I've done my best, my team has done their best, and it just ultimately doesn't succeed, right? Doesn't happen that often, but it does happen. And guess what? I've worked probably 11, 12 hours for the past 4 weeks, every single day, weekends too, and it still fails. I didn't feel motivated after that. It's not rewarding. And you know what? It is what it is. Just go to work next day. You learn from it. Shouldn't feel sorry for yourself. That's the only thing. If you sit down and say, oh my God, maybe I need to have a cigarette. Maybe I need to grab a drink. Nothing wrong with it if you want to, but just don't let it be you feeling okay just because of that, right? You need to still get back on your feet. Just learn from it, move on. Don't think about it too much. And trust me, you'll be much better. You'll be much better. There are days. There are
That
definitely
is
days.
that is what we needed to hear. That's a nugget, guys. You don't wake up every day feeling that you're exciting and happy, but you just have to do it. He's been working 12 hours, including weekends, but he still gets up and he gets the job done. You have to set a goal for yourself, set a standard for yourself, and be persistent, consistent, put in all the effort that you need to make it happen. That is how you grow. It's intentional, it's hard work, it's persistence, it's consistency, it's being there, it's doing the work. So, Nima, what will you tell your younger self based on your journey so far, based on everything you've accomplished so far? What will you tell your younger self about your profession, about entering technology, about your leadership role? What will you tell 17?
It's funny you say that. I actually had a conversation with one of my colleagues the other day, and I think he asked the same question. He said, well, he phrased it a little bit differently. He said, what would you have changed?
Yes.
I don't think I would have changed a single thing. I'm very happy for the journey that I went through. I worried a lot when I was there. I still worry a lot. And I'm glad I did. I'm really glad I did. People tell me, oh, don't worry, it'll work out. No, it doesn't. You got to make it work out. And I guess the only thing I would tell myself is that just be comfortable with how you are. You don't have to change that much. Just have to get better at certain things, and that's it. And it's okay. I mean, if you worry about things, just got to do something about it. That's it. A lot of people tell you, don't stress out. I personally don't believe in it. You got to stress out a little bit. Just do something to offset it. You need to work out at 6 a.m., go do it. Welcome change. One of my biggest challenges when I first joined the company was I had a very disciplined schedule as far as going to the gym. And it's a big component in my life because it really just calms me down and it relaxes me, right? And I was like, all right, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that at the gym. I'm going to go at this time. And then that didn't happen because, sometimes I need to just get things done at work and I don't get to go to the gym at that certain time on a certain day. That's what I would do. I would sulk. I was like, no, it didn't happen. I didn't go to, and I would just stop going. Stop going for like 2 months. So I was like, oh, this is too unpredictable. It's okay to roll with the punches. You wake up at 5 a.m., wake up a little too early. I'll go hit the gym. Maybe I'll go take a walk. Maybe I finished reading that book that I was reading. Be more
Be
flexible, I
flexible in
think.
life. Just
Yeah.
allow. Be flexible and allow.
Yeah.
Allow.
Yeah.
Allow.
Yep,
Don't fight yourself. If you don't fight
exactly.
being stressed out, don't fight being anxious, don't fight being worried. Just allow and let that flexibility. Because if
Exactly.
you're not doing that, you're running away from you. And when you're
Correct.
running away from you, it's very superficial and you're not really feeling, you're not living you. And you will come back and you might come back even stronger and unbearable. So when
That's right.
something is happening, instead of running away, feel it, deal with it, enjoy the moment of that pain, of that anxiety, of that worry, and really engulf it and embrace it and deal with it. Don't run away from that. That is super amazing. So as we are wrapping up right now, 2 questions. The first one we always ask is, what is one positive outcome you've had in life that you're really proud of, and what took you to get there?
I would say being okay with being uncomfortable. That was a big, big thing for me. And that's something to this day I'm working on. And I'm not even there. It's a long journey. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to have that uncomfortable conversation sometimes. It's okay to be put in that uncomfortable environment sometimes. In fact, I think that's a sign that you're on the right path in life. If things are okay, something's wrong. Something's wrong. If things have been just mediocre for the past 2 years, something you're not doing. That's a big one for me. Be okay with being uncomfortable.
I like that. Any life lesson, last nuggets you want to share, or maybe an advice you want to give someone that is really want to be in your next role before you share your information on how people can contact you or your company? Any anything that just flow, anything that you want to just tell us? And
Of course. People tell you, lean on your strength and work your strength. I think you got to focus on your weaknesses. What are the things that you're lacking? Sometimes it's not about getting better at something that you're already good at. It's about being okay or passable at something you're terrible at. So I see a lot of people just working and working and working just on this one subject matter or this one dimension. I'm like, oh, why am I not seeing results? I'm getting really good at this thing. Well, there's a lot of other things you need to work on. Again, personally, for me, it was networking. I had a tough time networking people. I don't really find the value in it. And good God, there's so much value in networking. And I don't think if this is a personal journey for me, I recommend that to everyone. You see someone at the grocery store and then, I don't know, you're picking up a bag of chips and they say, hey, I don't know, I work in biotech. They're talking maybe to their husband or to their wives, who knows. Over him, just start a conversation. How's your day going? What's the worst that can happen? You never know. And I'm not saying that person is going to hire you or give you a better job. Maybe that person talks about some sort of information that just helps you advance in your career. You're passing by the kitchen and your office, and so maybe your boss is sitting down having a cup of coffee just on the phone or, having a chat with a colleague. Try to engage. It's uncomfortable. I get it. Try to engage. Maybe bring something up, introduce yourself. To this day, I have a tough time doing it, but it has to be done. It has to be done. It's good for people to find out about you. And I think everyone has something to offer. Status quo, the person that they are today, everyone has something to offer. And I think you just need to let people find out about you.
that's just a lot of nuggets you've put together. And one thing I've noticed about our conversation is that you don't go with the status quo. For example, everybody says do your strength. You're like, what about the weaknesses? Are they dead? What happened? Just forget about that. Don't worry about worrying, about being anxious. Don't worry about it. But you say worry about it. So this is a different, I love your approach. And this is something that a lot of people would need to hear, that something is not wrong with you. You're not weird because you're worried about something, because you're
That's
stressed out
right.
about something. You're not. And I'm really happy that you came from that direction, because I will tell you for sure it's very different from what the other people and experts and leaders have come to the show and they've talked about. So thank you so, so much. What do you do now? How can people contact you? How can you help organizations? How can people reach out to you? Is there anything else? for the
Yeah,
last.
of course. I mean, you can find me on LinkedIn. I try to be active, although I haven't been doing a good job lately at it. You can email me at, for my email's there. It's nrajabali@parkingconcepts.com. There's a convention we're going to in San Jose. It's CMPA. If there's any parking people here, I'll see you guys out there. But yeah, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to share anything that I can, or maybe there's an opportunity we can discuss. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Guys, this, like I told you, has been a learning show for myself. I will worry because sometimes I worry about the kids, I worry about the job, I worry about the show, I worry about it edited on time. Why are you guys taking so long? And I'm fighting with my technical team. So I am going to worry because I need to stop running away from worrying because I need to feel it. And I need to figure out my weaknesses because I've been ignoring them for so long. And I think it's actually affecting me. So take this nugget and go and learn and grow. And remember to share this information because I am so sure it's going to help someone else out there. Thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you, Nima, for coming to Positive Outcomes.
It's been a pleasure, Doreen. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Thanks for having me.
guys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Positive Outcomes. Follow the show and share this episode to inspire someone's next chapter.